Everybody, I am Dr. Deepak Chopra, working as Associate Professor at the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, Bhopal. For the past few months, I have been working with Wiley on trying to adapt the famous textbook in chemistry, which all undergraduates, postgraduates and even research students are exposed to during their studies in chemistry. So, this is a very famous textbook of chemical applications of group theory by Professor F.A. Cotton, who has made pioneering contributions towards the field of chemistry. And when I was an undergraduate as well as a postgraduate student, I was very tempted to actually learn more about the subject by reading from other textbook as well. But there was a bottleneck which I actually experienced, was that most of the books actually lacked exposure to adequate problems, including the problems which are mentioned in the textbook by Professor Cotton, which are of a relatively difficult nature. So, what I have attempted to do in the current Indian adaptation is to try to solve these problems which are given in his book, and so that the students and researchers can get exposed to this vast paradigm of symmetry, which has got major implications and applications in different aspects of chemistry, crystallography, structure and other facets of natural sciences. This book, as you can see, we have not only tried to introduce solve problems, but we have also tried to introduce some new problems in the textbook. And in addition to that, we have also relooked at the entire contents of the book. By and large, the essential contents of the book remains the same, but to start with, some of the most important modifications are, for example, chapter 1, we have completely rewritten chapter 1 as a whole. Where we actually highlight the important dimensions of symmetry in chemistry and crystallography. Number 2, we have actually introduced a section on similarity transformations and how to work out similarity transformations in chapter 3. In chapter 4, we have added a section where we look at the different rules which enable us to determine characters of reducible representations and subsequent determination of the number of irreducible representation a particular term symbol repeats itself. So, these contents were essentially missing. And then what we have done is that we have essentially combined chapters 5 and 6, which kind of looked isolated in terms of their contents, and we have now integrated it as a single chapter under the title Role of Quantum Mechanics in basically the title is role of quantum mechanics in group theory. Sorry for that. So, the title is role of quantum mechanics in group theory. So, that's a unique title that essentially combines the contents of SALC into it. And then we have revamped the entire chapter 10, the new chapter 10, which is the crystallographic part, and we have introduced concepts related to Bragg's law and other related aspects of symmetry which were essentially missing in the textbook. Another very important dimension we have added is how to look at space groups and how to derive space groups for some simple systems, particularly the most common ones. And with this, we have actually really looked at the essential contents of the textbook in a unified way. And also now we have questions which essentially cater to the Indian audience in terms of different questions asked in competitive examinations. Needless to say, these books can be used by researchers across the world, and there are also new problems which have been added to every chapter, so that they substantiate and augment our current understanding of the applications of symmetry with relevance to chemistry, biology and other facets of science. So, I think with this short introduction, I would request all the young students to enjoy learning symmetry, to enjoy studying symmetry. It is not a very difficult subject, it is just that you need to actually introduce yourself to more problems, and this book is an endeavor to actually bridge the gap between the learning contents and the problems. So, most of the problems, if you look at the solutions now, are self-explanatory, but you need to read the contents of the book with more clarity and depth, and I am sure you will be able to appreciate the role of symmetry in different problems related to chemistry and biology in particular. So, so all the researchers, including faculty, professors who are teaching in different universities, I would request them to kindly look at the Indian adaptation, and I look forward to your feedback in this regard and suggestions if any. And if you have any queries, kindly feel free to write to me, at dchopra@iicrb.ac.in. Thank you and wishing you all the best.